Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy Hot Boxing Minute. Back at you with that uncut realness when it comes to boxing, as only I can deliver it to you. Lo and behold, folks, we are not getting Devin the Dream Haney versus Ryan Garcia. That is the explosive news that hit the boxing wire today. I woke up this morning, it was all over the internet, and I was not surprised at all. First off, let me lay down the groundwork for this foundation, y'all. If you've been following me on TikTok, you already saw my videos. After the Tony Weeks debacle, and I call it the Tony Weeks debacle, that was the fight which saw Ismael Barroso fighting Rolando Romero, our favorite social media boxing clown jester, out there in Las Vegas. They called it a TKO, something like in the 7th round in favor of Rolando Romero. And it was very clear that the fight could have gone on longer and that Ismael Barroso, old man from Venezuela, I call him Apocalypto jokingly, it looked to me like he was winning the fight, and it looked to me like the fight was essentially a robbery. Yeah, welcome to boxing. These things, they just kind of happen. And Tony Weeks called the fight in favor of Rolly Romero, making Rolly Romero the WBA 140-pound champion. Folks, this is boxing. It is how it is, and ain't nothing about it going to change. Rolly Romero, I don't think he was supposed to be champion, but then again, it looks like he was meant to be champion because it really looked like an inside job. Rarely do I ever say things are a robbery, but that fight, congratulations, Tony Weeks, I call it a robbery.
To this day.
And anyways, immediately after Rolly Romero won that fight, I made videos saying, here's what's going to happen. Rolly Romero is going to fight Ryan Garcia in a big money fight for that 140-pound strap, or he might fight Tank Davis in a rematch for that 140-pound strap. Turns out one of my two scenarios just came to fruition. Now, I made a video on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok channel, sorry. Most of the stuff I do, folks, is really on TikTok. And on particularly, what channel are we talking about here? We're talking about Twitter. On Twitter, per se, Inside Fighting, Andrew Capuchetti, had a video recording a 3 a.m. night run. This is like less than 48 hours ago with Floyd Money Mayweather and Ryan Garcia. And let me see if I can pull up that footage for you now. Let me see if I can share this screen. I'm going to share the screen. Let's go. Yeah, share the screen. Okay. Can I share the screen here? Okay, so let me get that. Got that. Am I sharing it? I'm not sharing it. Sharing it is carrying it. And let me get it. Can I get it to this point? Boom. Now let me expand this to show you what you're looking at. Now, what's going on in this video is a 3 a.m. run. You know, it would look like nothing kind of particularly odd. It's just, you know, Floyd Mayweather Jr. running next to Ryan Garcia at 3 a.m. It would look innocent enough, right? Apparently not. So for those of you that don't know, Ryan Garcia was in negotiations, and this was all over social media. Both Devin Haney and his father, Bill Haney, they were doing the social media campaigning already on all the large podcasts, talking about the negotiations, including Henry Garcia and Ryan. Congratulations to Ryan, by the way. He just had a baby, and he's getting a divorce, and he announced that on Instagram too. We're in uncharted waters, folks. We watched Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney both grow up in front of us on social media, and now we're watching them have kids and get divorces in very public, you know, things. And I knew this was going to happen. I've been watching Ryan Garcia since he was like 10 years old, or however old he was when he was hitting his heavy bag in the garage in Victorville. But the pivot now has gone away from that Devin Haney fight. Now, I, for one, was always very perplexed at the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. Yes, they fought as amateurs, but at this point in their careers and their professional development, I don't think it's unfair to say that it would have likely been a 12-0 wash by Devin Haney. You might have, you know, I don't think anybody realistically sees Ryan Garcia at this point in his development, especially after his use of, the shoulder roll, the Ryan roll in his fight against Oscar Duarte. I don't think anybody realistically looked at Ryan Garcia and said he can beat Devin Haney. But I guess the whole vibe was Ryan Garcia is trying to be like a throwback fighter, like a Sean Porter / Obakar type fighter, and fight anybody that they can put in front of him. So it looked like he was real gung-ho, and he was going to go fight Devin Haney. Either way, that fight didn't materialize, and now we're really, really seriously looking at essentially Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. And Ryan Garcia did take to Instagram to share it, and Rolly Romero even shared the same idea. So let me see if I can share that screen. I'll show you guys what he put on his Instagram story, which were just cutouts of what he had posted on Twitter. So let's go to the share screen here. Oh, whoa. No, not there. Ew, how did I get here? Pardon me. We are experiencing minor technical difficulties. Share the screen. Go into the IG stories. That's it. All right, so, excuse me. I'm still going through this cold, y'all. It's really weird. So, can I make that bigger? Yes, I can. I don't know if that's large enough. Maybe that's large enough. So, as you can see, this is the announcement. I've notified my team I'm going a different route. My intent now is to fight Rolando Romero. I pray my team backs me on this decision. Oscar, make this fight happen. Bold words. That's the move. Bigger fight, bigger business. Garcia Romero. And then Ryan Garcia says, after what happens to Rollies, the Dev fight will be there and even bigger. Oh. And he says, everyone critiquing now will end up seeing it is a better move. Plus, he can go fight Richardson Hitchens. Go do your 30,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't need you, Dev. You need me. Devin responded with, don't ever mention my name, pussy. And Ryan says, you'll be back. Yada, yada, yada. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe Ryan Garcia to be correct. I hope most folks can see the truth in what Ryan Garcia was saying. Regardless of whether or not it might seem underhanded, it might seem cloak and dagger, it might seem unfair, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. This is the boxing game, folks. I hope you are not coming into this with some notion that it's not a den of thieves. Like boxing managers, boxing matchmakers, fighters, boxing promoters, they're all in on it, yo. Like everyone is playing chess strategically, and it's about making the prize, about making the most money. Now, whether or not people like to admit this or not, Ryan Garcia choosing to fight Rolly makes the fight between him and Devin even bigger should Ryan Garcia decide to follow up on his word and go back and circle the block and take that fight after he beats Rolando Romero. Unfortunately for Devin, the truth of the matter is he's not a large pay-per-view attraction. He did sell out an arena recently. He did do some small pay-per-view numbers. But really, Ryan Garcia is the huge social media star, and love it or hate it, Ryan Garcia draws eyes. So if Ryan Garcia beats Rolly Romero, comes back around, that fight with Devin Haney is much, much larger if Ryan Garcia is in possession of that WBA championship belt. Boxing community, do you agree or do you not? Let me know in the comment section if you think that was a bogus move by Ryan Garcia. Sip. Hold on. I don't make the rules to this boxing thing or how it works, folks. Let me see if I can slides. Oh goodness, if I can find a picture to share. My bad, y'all. I'm going through some minor stuffs here. There you go. Bam. All right. So here's the interesting part. Let me see if I can pull up the boxing rankings. I do got the boxing rankings there. Now tonight, O'Hara Davies is fighting Ismael Barroso. We're circling back the block here. This is going on tonight on that Golden Boy card. It's already active as I'm recording this. The fight's already going on, the undercards. O'Hara Davies is supposed to be fighting Ismael Barroso. The winner of that fight is supposed to get first crack at Rolly Romero. Technically, it is a title eliminator fight. So let me share the screen view of what it is I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you so I can know you. Let me see if I can pull up I'm just trying to pull up the boxing rankings just to show you guys like where we are with this in the sanctioning body order of things. So we add to the stage. Now, if you look in that WBA list, you got the champion as Rolando Romero. On the bottom of it, on the number 1 ranked position, you got O'Hara Davies. So that can potentially, pose a risk to this big plan. Now, O'Hara Davies has stated before he does not intend to take step-aside money. And regardless of whether or not O'Hara does or not, I think it's a no-brainer that this is a lot of power moves going on here. Golden Boy recently acquired Jose Ramirez, who was the former unified 140-pound champion. He is still competing, as far as we know, in the 140-pound division. They recently acquired from the UK the person I just mentioned, O'Hara Davies. They've obviously got Ryan Garcia. They also recently acquired Arnold Barbosa, who's one of the top-ranked 140-pounders in the world. So they've acquired a lot of the top guys in the 140-pound position. If they get that WBA belt, they might keep it in-house and build Ryan as a star. This could all come down to Ryan playing the chess game and building his star. This could come down to Ryan beating Rolly Romero and then Ryan deciding to fight Devin to make that even bigger. Or it could be Ryan, who's got some ulterior motive to get down with Floyd Mayweather in the PBC, deciding to fight, what's his name? Tank Davis in a rematch. Plenty of different possibilities as to what's going on with this singular WBA 140-pound strap that is currently in possession of Rolando Romero, being fought for in an eliminator by O'Hara Davies and Ismael Barroso. And, ideally, this is all going to have the implications involved in what happens between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero when they fight. So it could all stay in Golden Boys. It could end up moving out to a fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis in a rematch. Or it could be another fight with Ryan Garcia and Devin the Dream Haney. They've already got 6 in the amateurs, 7th one as a pro. It's a rivalry they've had since they were kids. Boxing community, what do you think is the angle on this Ryan Garcia move to fight Rolly Romero? As far as what happens afterwards, let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this one up. And that's just the interesting propositions. Another thing that made news is... I'm going to pivot away from the Ryan Garcia talk, is Anthony Joshua versus Franis Ngannou for 2024. Folks, we are getting it. It's officially happening. Whether you like it or not, we are getting Anthony Joshua versus Franis Ngannou. I am with it. I love the idea of this fight. This fight is awesome, folks. It really is. Now, I know a lot of people have mixed ideas, mixed feelings about Anthony Joshua versus Franis Ngannou. I love the idea of this fight. Tyson Fury shat the bed, sharted all over it, made it unusually competitive and close fight. I thought Tyson Fury won it. Many people, especially in the MMA community, thought that Franis Ngannou won that fight and that he should be the righteous lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Hey, if you saw it like that, I ain't going to argue with you. It was a close fight. Franis Ngannou did very well. I do believe that was more a direct byproduct of Tyson Fury misunderestimating what Franis Ngannou brought to the table as a fighter. I believe that Anthony Joshua steamrolls Franis Ngannou, but I love the idea of the matchup. I love the Franis Ngannou story. Growing up in poverty, working the salt mines in Cameroon, going to France, getting incarcerated, all kinds of crazy stuff. He originally wants to become a boxer. The only gym that takes him in is an MMA gym. And he ends up the prodigiously talented MMA heavyweight. Some consider one of the greatest MMA heavyweights ever. He has the contractual fallout with Dana White and the UFC over fighter pay. And he becomes a free agent, gets picked up by the PFL. He fights Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and makes $10 million. Franis Ngannou fought Tyson Fury and made more in that one fight in Saudi Arabia against Tyson Fury than he did in his entire MMA career combined. How you like them apples? What a beautiful life story. That right there is a book in and of itself. He's getting a second helping of generational wealth. This March, that's the prospective date, March 8th, against Anthony Joshua again, to get more generational wealth out there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for another $1 million bag. You couldn't write a better life story than that for the man from Cameroon, Africa, Franis Ngannou. I love to hear it. I love to read it. Anthony Joshua, of course, has his story. Started boxing late, was an Olympic gold medalist, and essentially revived British boxing in the heavyweight division. And whether or not you like Anthony Joshua, it isn't really debatable as far as his achievements. Anthony Joshua is the most heavily accomplished heavyweight boxer of this era. Now, you do got Tyson Fury, who currently holds the lineal championship in the WBC belts. You've got Alexander Usyk, who is the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, who's having that fight coming up in the first week of February, as scheduled supposedly, with Tyson Fury to become undisputed. But regardless, both of their resumes combined are not as good as what Anthony Joshua has fought everybody, folks. Povetkin, Pulev, he's fought Chisora, he has fought everyone, Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz Jr., everyone except for Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury. But he was the first one, or the second one to beat Vladimir Klitschko after Tyson Fury did. But whether or not you love it or hate it, you got to admit Anthony Joshua is an attraction, probably the biggest name in heavyweight boxing. And he's coming off of 3 straight wins going into this fight with Franis Ngannou. So I have to favor Anthony Joshua. I believe Ben Davison has him looking as good as he has ever looked in his career. And this is going to be a fun matchup. They are talking about their whispers about it, according to Mike Coppinger and Mike Benson and stuff, about possibly putting Zhilei Zhang, Big Bang Zhang, against Deontay Wilder on the undercard, or as a co-main to that, or in 2 separate matches. I don't know if I would stick Deontay Wilder directly off of that loss against Joseph Parker in the ring against someone like Big Bang Zhang. Big Bang Zhang just got done knocking out Joe Joyce. So I think if I was Deontay Wilder's people, if Deontay Wilder even wants to fight anymore, if you've seen some of the press conferences leading into that Joseph Parker fight, Deontay Wilder, he did the ayahuasca, did the medicine man, spirit soul searching. It doesn't appear to be the same person as he was when he was talking about trying to kill people in the ring earlier in his career, when he was a one-punch knockout machine in the heavyweight division. But I don't think Deontay Wilder should step in the ring with Zhilei Zhang. A lot of people want to see Deontay Wilder in that ring with Zhilei Zhang. And yes, Deontay Wilder did have success against Luis Ortiz, who was seen as the boogeyman, and he was a southpaw just like Zhang. But I think if I was Deontay Wilder, I would take like 2-3 tune-ups. Do just like Joseph Parker recently did. Joseph Parker beat Deontay Wilder, and that was the 4th fight of the year that he had. He had 3 fights against relatively no-name heavyweight fighters. I think the biggest name he had was Dempsey McKean. Nobody knows who he is. A guy from Australia, a very little-known heavyweight that was supposed to fight Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. But I think Deontay Wilder, if he does have plans to rebuild his professional career, to at least take some time, gives confidence under him. Activity matters in this game, folks. Like I said, if there's one thing we learned in 2023 is that activity matters. If you're Cool Boy Stephen Fulton, if you're Errol Spence Jr., if you're Deontay Wilder, if you're Jamel Charlo, something they all had to learn the hard way is that if you aren't active, you lose that razor sharp focus. You got to be fighting at least twice a year, at least 3 times a year if you can. Somehow, some way, I think boxing needs to bring back stay busy fights. Make no belts on the line. Just stay busy against some young, hungry competitor so you at least don't lose your edge while you're chilling out in between large fights. But anyways, do you think the AJ versus Franis Ngannou fight is awesome? I think it is. Some people don't. Let me know what you think about that matchup in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this up. Either way, I'm going to end the video there. This is Hot Boxing Minute, y'all, the future of boxing analysis on YouTube and TikTok. Until next time, peace.